Hey y'all, welcome back to A Dash of Gratitude. My name is Beth. Today I'm bringing you recipes that are fall inspired. They're super simple to make and they are going to cozy up your kitchen. My family and I really enjoy these and I know yours will too. So let's just jump right in. I'm also going to be cooking this butternut squash pasta sauce. It's from the Good and Gather brand at Target. It says it was imported from Italy, so that's kind of fancy. Along with that, I'm going to cook these 4 cheese tortellini, also from the Good and Gather brand. I'm going to cook these separately and then combine the two together. And I'm going to brown up this Italian sausage to add into the butternut squash pasta sauce. So that's going to be delicious. I've got the sausage all browned up nicely and I did take off most of the extra grease. Got the tortellini cooking separately and I'm about to add this butternut squash pasta sauce. Oh my, I think this is gonna be really, really good. I might add a little extra garlic. Let's see what it smells like when it gets put all together. I just added a little bit of water to the jar. I'm gonna shake it up, get all the extra sauce out of there. And I've got it turned down to low, so it's just gonna kind of simmer together. And we'll just wait on that tortellini to get done and then we'll combine it all. I think this is gonna be really nice. Nope, I don't think it needs any more garlic. And this is definitely giving fall. Smells so good. All right, I drained the tortellini. It looks real good. Let me get this sauce in here. This smells so good. If y'all have never used Italian sausage and combine it with tortellini and like butternut squash pasta sauce or like a pumpkin, any kind of like harvest orangey sauce, do it, it's so good. I'm actually gonna add a little bit of heavy whipping cream. Just a little bit. I just feel like it needs a little more sauce. And this will kind of zhuzh it up a little bit, you know what I mean? I think it'll add to the richness and the flavor, and I think it'll make it a little bit more filling even, add a little protein. I mean, you can't go wrong with heavy whipping cream. It's so good. Oh yeah. Friends, let me show you. It's looking very, so as I'm looking through the screen, it looks very much like Velveeta, but it's not looking that way in real life at all. So I don't know what to tell you about that, but it does look delicious. Creamy and dreamy. All right, I'm gonna let this hang out just a little bit. And then whoever wants some can come and get some. And I think this is gonna make for a nice leftover as well. All right, so I've had time to make breakfast for the kids. We're about to start on homeschool.
It's hot.
Is it good though?
Yeah.
All right, so I've got to tell y'all about these griddle cakes. These are from Trader Joe's. You're supposed to keep them frozen, and today we just used half of the package, so I'm popping it back in the freezer. But aren't these so good, you guys? Mm-hmm. Yes. What else do you like over there? Sausage? Grapes and sausage, scrambled eggs. It's a great way to start the day. Anyway, these are so good, and like I said, you keep them frozen, so you can just pop them out at your convenience, and they're so good. I don't even think they need syrup on them. They're actually kind of flavored with syrup, but you know, a little extra syrup is good too. For this recipe today, I am going to be using ground beef, a can of diced tomatoes, 1 can of pumpkin puree without all the spices in it. It's just the plain old pumpkin. We need black beans. The recipe calls for chili beans, which I don't normally buy, but I do have some pinto beans that I canned last year. These are so good, so I'm gonna add those. For the seasoning, oh, it also calls for 1 chopped onion. For the seasoning, we're gonna use a little bit of brown sugar and then chili powder. The recipe calls for pumpkin pie spice, but I'm sometimes sensitive to something in that blend, so I'm just gonna add a little ground cumin and a little bit of cinnamon. Not a whole lot, just a little bit there. So I've already got my Instant Pot heating up on saute. I'm gonna get the ground beef and onions right inside. So I'm choosing to work smarter, not harder today. That's why I'm doing this all in the Instant Pot, because this one has a slow cooker setting. So instead of browning this meat up on the stovetop and then, dirtying up a second pan, I just decided to keep it all in here today. Work smarter, not harder, Have you seen this jar opener? This is for home canned jars. It is amazing. Instead of having to struggle with a butter knife, you just simply go like this with a simple flick of the wrist and it's all the way done. It's amazing. This is such a great tool. I've got to give a shout out to my mom because she sent this to me and it's amazing. It is a favorite kitchen tool of mine for sure. All right, I'm just gonna get out some of this extra grease. So I just like to use a little bit of paper towel and I just kind of stir it around, let it absorb all the extra grease that's in there. This one's there's not too much in there, just enough to, that I want to take out. Of course, you don't have to take it out, but I always do. I don't like the texture of the broth when it's too greasy. Then I just take this out and put it in the trash can. Next, we're going to add 1 can of diced tomatoes, 1 can of black beans, and I did drain most of the bean juice out. Pinto beans or chili beans if you like. 1 can of pumpkin puree. I'm going to give that a stir, and then we'll add in our seasonings and spices. I went ahead to set this to slow cooker, and I'm gonna go on and add our spices. So the recipe calls for 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Usually I would leave that out, but I'm trying to follow the recipe as close to true as possible. And I think with the pumpkin, the brown sugar might be really nice. So we're just gonna give that a try. Now we also, I'm not gonna measure the cumin. I'm just gonna add it in, just a little shake when I think looks right. And I'm gonna do the same with the cinnamon. Just a little bit there. Now as far as the chili powder goes, we need 1.5. The recipe calls for 1.5 tablespoons, but I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons. Just in case this is not a hit, we do have leftover pizza in the fridge from celebrating Robbie's birthday this weekend. So just in case this is a flop, I do have a backup plan. But I am optimistic. I think this is going to taste really good. It's going to be different and hopefully really tasty. All right, let's take a little peek in on this. Ooh, steamy. All right, it smells pretty good. Oh my gosh, it actually smells really good. Ooh, I'm excited to try that. Next up, we're making the 3-ingredient chocolate chip pumpkin muffins. Instead of the spice cake mix, we're gonna be using a devil's food cake mix because I wanted chocolate. So we're gonna be using devil's food cake mix, 1 can of pureed pumpkin, and a cup of chocolate chips. This recipe is so simple, let's do it. Also, we're gonna be using the Pumpkin Festival spatula. It just happened to be what I pulled out, but how fitting is that?
The cake mix.
I do think this would be really good with the spice cake mix, but like I said earlier about the pumpkin spice, what I said earlier about the pumpkin pie spice, sometimes I'm sensitive to pre-mixed fall blends like that, so I just typically stay away from that. All right, we're gonna scrape out all the pumpkin. We're gonna mix it really well.
Later, bro. Okay, so now we're gonna mix the pumpkin in the cake mix. Oh, this looks...
It'll be, I know.
I shouldn't say.
It looks questionable. Serena has given this a mix, and it's looking a little questionable. Smells a little questionable. I hope these are gonna be good. I have made a dessert similar to this. I didn't make it into pumpkins, I made it into a cake, and it actually really does come together. It just takes a little bit of mixing. Whenever I make muffins or cupcakes, I like to put several grains of uncooked rice in the muffin pan underneath the cupcake liners. And I found that whenever I would make muffins, there would be like some moisture gathered on the bottom of the paper. So I read a tip that if you put rice in the bottom, it would help stop that from happening, and it's true.
Chocolate chip time. My hands are clean, I promise. Just gonna add some on the top.
And just give it a mix.
Mixity, mix, mix. Mix, mix.
I mean, it looks chocolatey. This is a very thick batter for sure. She thick. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're enjoying hanging out with me in the kitchen today. I just want to make a note about this batter. It is very thick, and you can fill the liners all the way up to the top, and it's totally fine. They do come out a little bit wonky looking, in my opinion. They don't bake smoothly, but they are so good. And I've made these again since I recorded this video with a vanilla, like a yellow cake mix, and it was also so delicious. I added some vanilla protein powder. Yum, full chef's kiss, so delicious. Also, if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, I would love to have you be a part of our YouTube family, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you got any inspiration at all. Thank you so much. We've got our oven set to 350, and Serena's going to pop these in for 15 to 20 minutes. I just pulled these out of the oven, and they were in for about 22 minutes. Once they're all the way cooled, I will put them on the cake stand under the glass cover. But the house smells are really good. All right, well, the chili smells delicious. We've already served up some bowls. The kids all said it's really good, and I'm excited to have a fall chili. This was so easy.
Hola. That looks really good.
That is good. That is good. It's different. It's a little sweet. It's a little spicy. But it's really good. I think it would probably be good with some cheese on top. Maybe even some tortilla chips. That would be really good too. Add a little crunch. Real good. What'd you say, Robbie?
I think we should add some Tostitos to the chili.
Tostitos? You think that'd be good to like scoop or to crunch on top?
Scoop.
About Fritos.
Fritos?
Fritos.
Yeah, but Fritos would be good in there. Or goldfish.
You could just do whatever you want.
I want to do Tostitos.
Tostitos?
Where are they?
Maybe there's some in the pantry. The final recipe I would like to share with you today is for these pumpkin cookies. I've made these before with chocolate chip cookie dough and they were fantastic. So I thought, why not try to put a little fall spin on them? And these were so good, you guys. So I picked up a box of the mini croissants from the bakery in my grocery store and 1 pack of pre-made cookie dough. Now, of course, you could make this all homemade if you want, but you know, I like a semi-homemade approach for things like this. But you're just going to slice the croissant almost all the way through, roll up your cookie dough into balls, shove it into the croissant, and bake it in the oven at 350. I think it's for like 12 to 18 minutes or something like that. You just kind of have to keep an eye on how your oven does. And let me tell you, this was so good. This pumpkin cookie dough with cream cheese flavored chunks was delicious. It worked really well in this recipe. Now, honestly, I like the chocolate chip cookie dough better in this recipe, but these were so good as well. Definitely a unique spin on the cookie. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for adding a dash of gratitude to your day. I do hope you'll like this video and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.